watching. You are watching.
You're watching. You guys are watching.
You're watching Soulful Discussion.
So hi, how you doing today?
Okay, I'm ready.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good.
And how did we just meet right now? How did our paths cross?
We were just walking in the park.
Mm-hmm. And I approached you about
doing an interview about health and wellness.
About what?
Health and wellness.
Yeah, so it was about feet, mental health, and reflexology, right? In terms of mental health, are there any subjects that you like research, you follow closely, anything like that?
Like interests, I would say I'm interested in psychology.
Psychology? Okay.
I don't study it as a professional education, but
Okay.
interested in learning about it.
Okay, cool. So like the topic we're going to discuss today has to do with like depression and anxiety. So maybe you'll learn some new information from that you can take with you. In terms of reflexology, are you familiar with it? No?
No, not really.
Okay, so there'll be some more helpful information for you there, okay? So let's jump into these questions, okay? What's something that you like that other people might find to be weird? And I'm using that term weird for a reason. It doesn't have to be weird, but like it could be a
something
hobby.
out of the ordinary.
Yeah, something out of the ordinary.
I was gonna say Pokemon.
Pokemon?
For my age group, but that's
Okay.
not actually weird.
Okay,
For
yeah,
my
well,
age
like
group,
for
you
me, I watch anime, and as an adult, like a lot of people look at that like,
Yeah.
well, you're an adult, you watch anime, but
I guess,
enjoy
yeah.
it.
So societally, it's kind of
Yeah.
frowned upon for adults to like kids shows and
Yeah.
kids games and stuff like
Exactly. Has anyone ever made you feel insecure about your body or a body part before?
that. Yeah, I can name a few occurrences, but I just let it go.
Okay.
You know, it's like if it's a family member or like a close relative, then yeah,
Okay.
I would feel kind of hurt by that.
How did you get past that? Like, I mean, because is this something you're still working on, or are you already like kind of like in control of it? It doesn't bother you as much anymore.
I would say maybe 70 to 80%.
70 to 80%
Control
over.
of it, but
Okay.
sometimes you know you have your down days and it gets
Yeah.
to you
Absolutely.
more than others.
How did you get like to that point where maybe it doesn't bother you as much?
I had to do like they call it inner work, so
Okay.
just like investing in myself,
I see.
reflecting,
Okay.
realizing what's important to me,
Okay.
who's important to me.
Cool.
So I think that'd be best.
I like that. Okay. If there was one thing you could change about yourself, right, and it doesn't have to be physical, what would it be?
Yeah, that's a tough question.
Yeah. And so this is what I get from a lot of people when I ask this question. They're like, I'm always thinking about stuff I would like to change, but then when I'm put on the spot and somebody asks me,
Right.
it's hard for me to like come up with an answer for that, right?
I would say I wish I knew more than 2 languages.
Oh, okay. And right now, what languages do you speak?
I speak Japanese and I speak English.
Oh, so see now I'm jealous because like I wish I could. I want to learn Japanese because I'm like always watching anime with subtitles. So I would love to be able to like kind of get more information on that. So I'm a little jealous of you with that.
But the good thing about that,
Uh-huh.
wanting to change thing, is that you can always like study a language.
Yeah,
You know, you
true.
can learn it.
True.
Whereas like I try not to think, oh, I'd rather have like a different nose or a different natural hair color.
Yeah,
Those
and
types of things I can't really.
You
change.
can't control those, right? Yeah.
Unless you go into plastic
surgery, things
or,
like that.
You know, something like that. But then it's not the same.
Yeah, because you're not you anymore, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of asked that question, and I say it doesn't have to be physical, just in case. So next question, how do you feel about your feet? What are your thoughts?
I'd say they're good. They
You're
carry
good?
me everywhere.
Okay.
I walk a lot.
Okay, so you do like your feet. Okay. Has anyone ever given you any compliments on your feet before? No, never. Okay.
No.
All right.
People say I have like a lot of energy
You have a lot of energy.
because I'm walking up and about.
Okay, cool.
Maybe that's a compliment.
Maybe that is a compliment. We don't know. How would you feel if you did get a compliment? Let's say like you were out, you were wearing like flip flops, and somebody gave you a compliment. What would your thoughts or your feelings be?
Well, it depends on who's giving the compliment, I would say.
Okay.
If it's like a random stranger,
Yeah.
I'd be a little weirded out.
Okay.
I'd be like, okay.
So let me ask you this, right? So, because I get that a lot, right? If they complimented you on your hair or your eyes or your hands, that would be different for you. You would feel like less weird about that.
Just for me personally.
Okay.
Any compliment in general, if it's from a stranger.
Okay. So any compliment.
I'm a little put off by it.
I see.
If the first thing they're leading into the conversation is a compliment.
I see.
Put off by it. But if it's a friend or like, school friend, acquaintance,
somebody you know, like
coworker, something like that.
I see.
If they were to say, "Oh, you have nice feet," then I would think, "Oh, that's a weird thing to point out."
Yeah.
Why don't you compliment the color of my eyes? Or the necklace I'm wearing, something like
more
that.
Evident. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. In terms of compliments you receive from men and women, right? Well, you said I don't know if you really get that often from like people, but if you did receive compliments from men and women, would you feel differently about the compliment coming from two different sexes?
I would say yeah.
Okay. And why is that? Why would you feel differently about it?
I feel like it's the societal gender norms that I've grown up with.
Okay.
We're all conditioned to believe that we should, I guess, be more friendly towards the same gender.
Yeah.
And also be wary that the other gender, if they are nice to us or compliment us, that means they're interested in us.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to be careful with that because you never know if it's true, if they're just giving a genuine compliment.
Yeah.
Or if they're showing some sort of interest with an exterior motive.
Yeah, and I started asking that question because a lady I interviewed before mentioned that a lot of times women from an early age are taught to be in competition with each other and dislike each other. So when you get older and you receive compliments from other women, it's more sincere. Whereas you get compliments from men, and a lot of times it's like what you said, they want something in return,
right.
And that's all it is. It's like a coin that they're giving you for something in return.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. It's very sad when I hear that from all the people I'm interviewing, but if it's true, it's true. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm hoping that the guys that listen and to these interviews on my channel, they'll get the message and start to actually give good compliments or whatever.
Hey guys, if you're listening,
exactly,
we appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. We appreciate compliments that actually mean something. What would your thoughts be on if you started dating somebody who was into feet? How would you feel about that?
I mean, everyone has their own, if it's a foot fetish type thing.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about not necessarily because there's levels to it, right?
Right.
We're talking about more of an admiration, they like you for you,
right? But
as a whole,
feet.
But then they just like feet. So what would your thoughts be on that?
I'd say just because of what I've heard about the culture of foot fetishes, I would first think, okay, maybe this person has a foot fetish.
Yeah.
And then I would try to get to know them more and ask them, talk to them, not just assume.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing in life, right? A lot of times when we're on the outside looking in, sometimes the picture is not as clear, as you said, when you get to know them and find out the information, well, okay, what's this and why, and things like that, you tend to understand more. When you first start dating someone, when is the appropriate time for you two to talk about things you're into?
What do you mean, hobbies and stuff, or intimacy?
Yeah, intimacy. Yes.
I would say you kind of have to feel it out.
Yeah.
I guess for me, I would really have to get to know the person.
Okay.
Whether that be over a series of chats, phone calls, dates. It's just, I guess, more interacting with the person, asking them questions, and then seeing where you're comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I feel in a relationship, if you're willing to be in a relationship, you have to give something first.
Yes.
And so if I'm not ready to give information, then I won't give the information.
Yeah,
so
and
I just
also
have to feel it's okay to give the information.
And I've also heard each situation is different because if it's just a hookup or something like that, then you might not want to share that information because you want to maybe share that more with people who are going to be there long term, something like that. So how often do you get pedicures? Never? Do you do your own self-care in terms of that? Okay. How often do you wear open-toe shoes, sandals, flip-flops?
Usually tennis shoes.
Tennis shoes?
Or
so
boots.
Are you a sneakerhead?
No, not really.
Okay.
Just whatever's comfortable.
Oh, whatever's more comfortable. Okay, I got you. How often do you go barefoot?
Almost never, just at the beach.
Okay, cool. All right, and now can we see what your feet look like up close?
No.
Okay. And is there a reason why?
I would say, I don't know, it feels weird to show my feet on camera.
Okay, you feel weird to show your feet?
I'm the type of person just to have the closed-toed shoes.
I see.
And so I feel if you were to ask me a person who's already wearing flip-flops,
Yeah.
you know, they might be comfortable. Okay, oh, it just might be.
Yeah. And so the reason for, let me give you the mental health background, right? So there's a reason why I go through this whole process. So during quarantine, I was watching a guy's channel, and I got inspired by his channel. He was talking about something called DBT. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
Okay, it's dialectical behavioral therapy. Okay, and so it's for people who suffer from anxiety, depression, people who like don't live in the moment. They tend to like overthink situations. Like they're presented with a situation and they think about like all the negative things that could happen from that situation. They don't anticipate a positive outcome. So therapists could prescribe for these people to go out and put themselves in that situation. So let's say you have a fear of approaching strangers. They want you to go out and do that over and over again, exposure therapy, right? So that you can get used to the uncomfortable urge that comes along with it. And when you start to feel uncomfortable, they want you to cope with it, and they want you to do a self-assessment and ask yourself, what's the worst that's going to happen in that situation, right? So if there's not a threat to your life or your safety, you should proceed, because you could experience like good events, good moments, right? So like when we're going through this interview, it's designed to see like what you're comfortable. Yeah, how like comfortable you can continue to be.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and so that's why I try to get there to challenge you, like, what's the worst that's going to happen in this situation if you did do that, right? What do you think?
I think that's a good social experiment.
Yeah.
It really depends on the person. I have relatives who aren't willing to go out of their comfort zone and open up about things, and I understand that. But I guess here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Is this something that you're struggling with? Maybe approaching strangers?
So, for me, in the past, it's been about, like, I haven't been much of a people person in terms of, like, approaching people. I would oftentimes always get approached by other people, like, talking to me, but, like, in terms of me just going out of my way to approach people, that's not a thing I do. So I started doing this as a way to, like, see the type of people I would meet just by going out and approaching. And so, like, I'm using, like, these topics and all this stuff to see, like, what comes of it. So, like you said, it's like a social experiment to see, like, how it goes. So, yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So,
thank you.
We can't get you to show your feet today because you're not comfortable doing that, right?
No, I'm lazy. You know, I got my shoes on. You can look at my shoes. Yeah, she's got her tennis shoes on. She's like, I'm too lazy to take a walk. That's all good. I get it. In terms of reflexology, let's jump into that, okay? You said you're not familiar with it. Not really.
Okay. No. So it deals with the pressure points that we have in our hands and our feet. Like you have all these different nerve endings and pressure points, and these pressure points like lead back to other parts of your body and correlate with different parts. So through acupuncture, massage, you can actually alleviate like stress and tension to certain parts of your body. So what are your thoughts on that? How do you feel about that?
I think it's good because it's an ancient technique used by a lot of different cultures. I don't know a lot on the science about it, but I know people who've done acupuncture and it's really helped their sciatica, or if they have like tense muscles, it helps with the shoulders, it helps with different things.
There's a portion of your foot that if you massage can actually, like if you deal with migraines, can alleviate tension from that. Can open up your lungs, like if you're like congested, things like that. So
that's
like
what I've heard. If you have a cold, there's a certain pressure point. I think it's like right below the ball of your foot.
It is,
and you massage that area, and it will help clear up the congestion a little bit.
Yeah, and so like it's interesting for me. So when I go out and I do this interview, because a lot of people don't know about that. A lot of people are like using over-the-counter meds and things like that. So to be able to like provide people with like a natural means to like be able to like get rid of some of that stuff, it's like very beneficial. Right? So let's get to the end of the interview. Let's wrap it up. What were your thoughts on my approach to you when I came over? Was it good? Was it bad? What did you think?
It was professional. You said hi. I mean, you're not too close when you said it. Some people wait until you're like right there up on them to say hello. You know, it's a little creepy if you're too close. I enjoyed the interview. The distance here is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that you allow me to keep my privacy by not giving them the information. Hopefully you'll put like a sticker over my face if you can.
Well, I don't think anybody's going to notice you. Don't worry about it. In terms of the interview, right, from start to finish, did you see how everything was going in a line? Did it make sense to you? And did you learn anything new?
At the end of the interview, I understood that it was more so a social experiment to see where, I guess your interviewees would stop
Yes.
participating, or maybe give more reluctant answers.
Yes. And it's always better for me because I get some people, they're open. They're just
Yeah.
like, let's do it. And then
Uh-huh.
I get some people who are like, nah, that's a little bit too far. And so it's all to see like exactly where the boundaries you set are and then what the reason for the boundary is. So that's why I asked you like, what the reason? You said, I'm lazy, so I don't feel like taking off my shoes. So I get it.
Right, I'm prioritizing myself now.
Absolutely. So the last thing I ask everyone to do that does the interview, from a mental health standpoint, is there anything that you can say to my channel, like maybe wise words that you have, some like life lessons that you've learned, something you can say?
I mean, it sounds like a cliche, but haters are going to hate. And that to me means that if someone is going to hate on you or not like you for being yourself or doing something that's kind of unorthodox, but it's benefiting you personally, their opinion doesn't matter. And it shouldn't affect your mental health.
Thank you so much. Hey, appreciate you stopping. I know you were out walking the little one. Appreciate you stopping by to do the interview with us, and we hope you have a great day, okay?
Have a good day.
All right.